Hello and welcome to part one of our video series on building a TypeScript and Postgres API. Today we're going to make a start on our project by adding in some key dependencies that we're going to make use of when building out our API. If you do want to follow along, there's going to be a link in the video description for the GitHub repo that we're using. If you head over there, you can clone the repo and we'll actually be working from the part one branch. So if you check that out, then you'll be exactly as we are in the video and you can follow along with me. First thing that we're going to do is, and it's something you don't get to do very often, is initialize a project. So we're going to just use the npm command, npm init, and this will spin up a package.json file which will contain all of the instructions and the description of our project, which will be really useful for later on. So we'll just follow along with the instructions here. So package name, that's perfectly fine. Version, we're just going to put 0.0.0 for the time being, as it's the very beginning of the project. Description we'll leave blank. Entry point, we'll do source index.ts, since we're going to be using TypeScript for this project. Test command we'll leave blank. Git repository, we'll head over to GitHub and we'll just grab the URL, pop that one in there. Keywords, don't worry about that. Just pop in my name, license, and then just confirm that that's okay. And what that'll do, like I say, it'll chuck out a package.json file with all the things that we've just gone through. What we're going to do for the time being, we're actually going to end up with multiple test commands. So we're going to just get rid of the basic test command that it puts in there for us. And we're going to make a start on adding in our dependencies. So the first one that we're going to add in is actually Express, which is the HTTP server package. It's been around for years and years, and it's well understood and well respected as a solid HTTP server package. So what we're going to do, we'll just do npm i express, and that will install the latest version of Express for us. And at the same time, we're going to add in our type definitions for Express as well, which typically come in a package prefixed with @types / and then the package name that we're trying to install. And what we'll do when you do run this command, add a -d at the end of it. A -d signifies that this is a developer dependency. And what that means is this package and this dependency will not be bundled into the resulting JavaScript code at the end of it. So it's not actually a dependency that the JavaScript files are going to have at the end. And it's only a dependency for when we're writing our TypeScript. So let's add that in. Next up, we're going to add in another favorite package called .env. .env is a really useful package for managing configuration of your application using environment variables. So we'll add that one in. We'll go through it in a little bit more detail when we actually come to adding environment variables, and I'll talk you through how the package works. But for the time being, it's going to be a really useful package for us to have. And then last but not least, we're going to add Jest. Jest is a test runner for JavaScript and TypeScript projects. And if you're building any project that you want to take seriously, want to have it go out into production and actually be usable and reliable, it's always good to have a suite of tests that you can run to validate that the code that you're writing is accurate and is working as expected. And then what we'll do is we'll also add the types for Jest as a developer dependency. And then last up, we actually want to just add a final types file for Node. And the type file for Node will just help us make use of Node-specific features as part of the project as well. What you'll find is, if you're following along, that there are going to be a few files that were already included in the project to begin with. So I'll just give you a quick rundown of what they are. So a gitignore file essentially is a set of instructions for which files not to check into your source controls. So we're using GitHub. We definitely don't want files such as our environment variable files to be committed to GitHub and publicly accessible, because we may end up making use of sensitive values that we don't want everybody to be able to see. So that's the gitignore file. This file was automatically generated by GitHub, so it looks like there's a lot in here, but when I created the repository for this project, I simply selected Node as the technology for this project, and it automatically generated a gitignore file for me. Next up, we have the tsconfig file. So this file looks daunting. There's a lot in it, but actually this is just the base template that is recommended for strict TypeScript projects. So you'll notice there's a few things in here that are really useful, such as enabling strict mode, no implicit any, so that we can't make use of the any type across our project, and a few others that are always beneficial to have. Now we will be making use of best practices when developing using TypeScript, so we shouldn't have need to kind of deviate from these rules. All we're going to do now, we've actually added a couple of things into our type definitions. So we're just going to add in node and jest. That way TypeScript is aware of the additional type definition files that we've got, so so that when we run any commands, it will make use of those type definition files. So that is going to be it for this video. We've got our project spun up. We've got our initial set of dependencies set up. And in the next video, what we're going to do is we're just going to go about configuring Jest so that it's ready to start working on tests that we want to write as we're going through the project. I hope you find the video helpful, and I will see you in the next one.